Hi, fellow jazz guitar students. I'm Greg from London. I recently completed 12 months on the Jazz Guitar Accelerator, and at the end of that time, I got a message from Coach Marc. He sent me a mail and asked me how I'd found it, what my experience was, and if I wanted to continue. So I sent him an email back and I told him where I was at and what I'd been up to, and we had a quick follow-up chat. And he asked if I would make a video, basically to tell you all about what I told him because he thought it might be beneficial for others to hear. So this is it. I should point out that to start with, that I signed up for access to the JGA course material. So I signed up with no teacher, no assigned mentor. And the reason for that was that I have other commitments on my time and I needed to be able to work at my own pace, probably slower than a lot of you. And so I thought it was better to do it that way, not have kind of really wasting access to a teacher when I wasn't able to, work that much in any given month. That said, I'm pretty happy with what I've achieved at the end of 12 months. And I'm not going to say too much about the course, but I would say it works. Definitely the song-centered approach works. And to illustrate that, I'm going to tell you about kind of what I've been up to, which is, I think, the thing that Marc thought would be really useful to pass on to you, what I've been up to in terms of getting out there and actually playing music, because ultimately that's why we're doing this. We're not here to learn tons of scales. We're here to get out and play songs and play with other people, because that's what's fun and rewarding. So in terms of the course material, I think it's really well designed, it's really well presented, it's very logical, it's kind of additive, and it just gets you playing songs pretty quickly. So over the past 12 months, in my kind of renewed or rediscovered love of jazz, I've actually been out and listened to a lot of live jazz. I'm very lucky to have a fantastic monthly jazz club just literally around the corner from where I live here in London. And I've seen some amazing groups over the past 12 months, really inspirational. And I suppose that's the first message. I would just encourage you to try and get out there and listen to as much live music as you can, because there's nothing that fires you up as much and makes you want to improve than going out and seeing amazing musicians playing live. And one of the things I saw was a big band, a 17-piece big band. I've actually seen, I think, 3, maybe 4 big bands over the last 12 months. Anyway, I was very excited by this. And I thought to myself, hey, I'm not confident at soloing yet. That takes time. But I'm reasonably confident at comping. Maybe I could do this. So after the show, I went to speak to the guitar player and I said, hey, what does it take to play in a big band? I've no idea. What are the charts like? How do you work? And he was really helpful, and he got his pad out and he showed me a few charts, and he said, sometimes it's just written out. You just play 4 beats to the bar and it's just written out the chord symbols. And I thought, well, yeah, I can do that. But then sometimes the rhythms are written out in slash, and sometimes you've got single note stuff to play as well that's written out in standard notation. And of course, probably like a lot of you, I can't read music. And he said to me, look, if you want to play in a big band, you need to learn to read music. But he said the best way is to just get yourself in a rehearsal band and just start. And, having to work with these charts will force you to get better at reading music. And so I did. And we have also, not far from me in London, a well-known college with a really good adult education college with a really good jazz department. And so I signed up, and within about 3 weeks I was playing in a big band. Um, you know, it was really daunting to start with. I think they'd all been playing in the band at least 3 years, and I was a newbie. Um, but it's good. And I suppose what I'd say about the big band is, well, it's this. Firstly, you're not going to learn much about improvisation in a big band because as the guitarist, you're playing in the rhythm section and you're playing charts that are written out. You will get occasional opportunity to solo, but mostly you've got to read the charts. And the requirements of that are, well, playing in a big band. Firstly, you've got to be able to play in time, and often the tempos are pretty rapid. And you've got to be able to navigate a chart. And for us that have never read music, that is hard because it whizzes by and you've got pages and pages of it. It's not just like learning a head or learning a 32-bar form and just, cycling it, the conveyor, as Marc calls it. You get a lot of variations, you get key changes, you get all sorts of things in big band arrangements, so you've got to follow the chart. So it's good practice for that. And it's, as I said, it's good practice for beginning to learn sight reading. When you've got specific rhythms to play or single note stuff, you might be playing something in unison with the brass or the horns or something like that. So I've scribbled some little notes down here, so I'm just going to refer to them. But the other thing about going to college and starting to play with people is that you meet other people. And through playing in the big band, I met a singer. She's a horn player as well. But she said, "Oh, would you back me? Can we start doing some duo stuff?" So I said, "Yeah, we'll do that." And we started working together, getting a repertoire which we're going to take out soon. And playing a few standards, some ballads, some swing numbers, a couple of bossas, and some slightly more contemporary stuff. So that again is really useful, really good practice. And it is hard. It's hard because as the only instrument there, apart from the voice, the guitar has to provide the rhythm, all the harmony. On top of that, you have to work out some intros, some outros, and probably some chord melody solos. And also, you're going to have to transpose stuff from the normal keys because every singer is going to want to play it in a different key, and they'll probably try in about 3 different keys before they're happy with the key it's in. At least this is what it's like for me. So, again, really good practice. I guess the thing that has received less attention is my improv work. But the college now that I've signed up to has regular jam sessions. I haven't participated yet, but I went to listen to the last one and I thought, yeah, definitely, I can do this. I'm going to go out and I'm going to play at the next one. So, that's what I've been up to. I have probably done less work on the JGA course than a lot of you, but I've gone out and I've started playing with people. I want to move all these things together kind of in parallel. Definitely need to work on my improvisation skills, but having a jam session to attend is a good thing to work towards. So I suppose to sum up, and I think the thing that Marc thought was good about my experience and where it was leading me, and that would be beneficial for the rest of you to hear, is I would encourage you all to try and get out there, find people or groups to play with. I think nothing kind of accelerates your learning as fast as that. And also it's really rewarding. It's a lot of fun. You know, that's once you've got over the panic-inducing first phase of any of these things. But you know, that will happen. So my screen's gone. Let's come back now. So yeah, good luck to you all. I'm actually signing off the JGA. I may come back in the future, but what I've decided is that where I'm at with the knowledge I've got and the level of my ability as it stands, I just really want to consolidate that. I want to get comfortable and competent at soloing over changes and playing standards in a group setting. And I want to do that really before I start diving into more advanced learning material, like, you know, improvisational techniques and patterns and phrasing and that kind of thing. I'm going to come back to that, but I want to get good at making music with what I know right now. And hopefully I can keep in touch with you all. I'm not sure how that works. If I'm no longer on the accelerator, maybe through the Jazz Guitar Fellowship. If anyone knows, maybe they could drop me a line, send me a message back or a comment. Okay, thanks everyone. Good luck. Have fun. Happy playing.